Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Informed and Confused. I'm Ben.
I'm Alan.
And we are back watching ReZero with you guys again. Episode 11, the amalgamation of From Zero and Battle Against the White Whale.
Yep. Last time...
well, we got our first glimpse of the White Whale.
Yeah, we saw the White Whale.
The weird... Like, it erased people from reality. I still want to know what the hell was up with that.
Yeah. Subaru continues to be absolutely batshit insane.
Subaru continues to be Subaru.
It's actually getting to the point now where it's grating.
It's been grating on me for a while, but yeah, no, it's hitting the point of hitting the head against the wall.
Yeah,
Subaru needs to take a turn here somewhere, or this is just not going to be fun to watch anymore.
I know. It's like, at first it was very much just, anime angst. Okay.
And yes, if this show turns bad enough, we may collectively decide, fuck it. That said,
I don't think we're anywhere near that.
We're not there yet. I'm not
anywhere
there yet.
I'm
still willing to.
I'm not even remotely near that point yet. Because even if Subaru is a complete jackass and cringy to watch,
there are other characters that are worth hanging out.
I enjoy watching that stuff, and I'm just still curious about the story. What the hell is going on?
But if we end up getting 3/4 of the episode being Subaru, that's not worth the 52 minutes and 40 seconds of my lifetime.
I'm not willing to make any declarations preemptively about any of that until
I am hoping things turn around and this gets better. This is just really cringy lately.
Him specifically, because he's gone from angsty to just literally
he's lost
insane.
it.
He's just losing. No, admittedly,
he's got some reasons for it, which is why I'm still hanging in there.
He keeps dying over and over and over again in horrible ways. Watching everyone he knows and cares about
that would break
over
anyone's
and over
mind
again in horrible ways. So little bit of an excuse there. I mean, understandable, but still. We left off. Beetlejuice was basically had gotten a hold of him.
So much happy.
Yeah, Amelia's dead again. Beetlejuice got a hold of him, and then Puck showed up.
Yep.
Rather
and we're about to see Puck lay some shit down. I am so excited for this battle.
All right.
Let's get on with it.
Yep.
Oh, there go all the cultists. Yeah.
Oh, my brain, it trembles. Puck!
Be quiet, Subaru. I don't care what you have to.
Ooh.
My, what complacency and negligence! That is sloth! Should have seized the moment and killed me when you had the chance, but it's too late! Even with the element of surprise and your immense power, you failed to do what you needed to do!
Foolishness.
Seriously, I have no idea how the power balance is going to work out here between these two.
Unbelievable! This is unbelievable! It cannot be! It simply cannot be!
God, he keeps biting his fingers, man.
Everything I've devoted my love to.
Blood magic.
At the hands of a mere spirit?
A human who's only lived a few decades shouldn't talk to a spirit about time.
Time has absolutely nothing to do with the depth of one's faith.
In accordance with my contract, I will now destroy the world.
But why?
Leah is. Amelia is my entire reason for existing. There is no point in living in a world without her. Gluttony. I suppose they call it the White Whale now. You called it here. Let Leah die, and now it's your turn.
And now I'm going to die in vain.
You're allowed to hate yourself.
I really am so.
It's not a healthy thing, but you're
slothful,
allowed.
Subaru.
What if you're Hitler?
And he's back again.
I'm sorry. What was that? I heard.
I was saying you're allowed to hate yourself, and he asked, "What about Hitler?"
Nick's just not going to be happy until he turns this entire thing into a godwin.
Right?
Guess you've only seen me being
Only
pathetic.
it seems to have
Getting
bounced
depressed
back
about
from his
everything
most
all the time,
recent
but I
death.
finally get it.
What do you mean by that? Get what?
I've bothered a lot of people with all my contemplating and agonizing, but I finally figured out how to take care of everything. Honestly, when I really think about it, it's what I was told to do from the very beginning, but I just wouldn't
Does
listen.
it go away?
I just don't know when to give up, you know? Run away with me. As far as we can go.
I mean, I get where he's coming from.
I'm gonna leave the capital and head far west, or
I mean,
maybe north.
okay.
Haven't decided yet.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
There
I
are
heard
good
it's hard to
parts
get into the
to
South
that.
Kingdom, so one of those two. I don't like cold weather, so I'd personally recommend heading westward.
Hold on. What are you?
Thing is,
But just
this could
assuming
turn out to be a
Rem can
really
come
long journey,
along.
and I know this is a last-minute decision, so it won't be easy to pull off.
Subaru, wait.
Huh?
The way you're talking, it sounds like you're serious about this.
There's nothing I can do in the
He's finally
capital.
figured out he just
And
needs
I'd
to
be
fuck
every
off.
bit as powerless if I headed back to the mansion. That's what I figured out. So again, run away with me.
Or
Please,
than being
Rem.
fucked up,
Staying here is not an option.
which is what he
That's what
has been
everyone's
for
been
the
telling
last
me
couple
this
of
whole time.
episodes.
I didn't want to believe that it was true, so I denied it with all my might. But yeah, they were right. No one ever needed me around for anything. I've had enough of all this. Let's run, Rem. You and I can't stay here.
And he lives out a
shouldn't
long
be
life,
in this
dies as
country.
an old man, and resurrects right
This
here.
is all so sudden.
Oh yeah, you know that's what'll happen.
I'm sorry it's coming from out of nowhere, I really am, but we don't have time. I know it's not fair to ask. But you must make a choice. Let's get a dragon-drawn carriage and head west.
This is not a
Leave
fair
Laguna
thing to
County,
ask
go far
her.
west to
Stop being a
Colorado.
dick, Subaru.
Well, admittedly, he's moved in the right direction. He's just overcompensating.
Yeah,
Bad things
yeah.
happen. No matter how
And-
tired I am, if I know you're
and it
waiting
is
for me,
a
I can make it through anything.
Understandable reaction. He's failed and failed and
So
failed and
please,
had to deal with all this
choose me.
crap. Eventually, you just want to say,
You do. I'll give you
"Screw
all
it,
that I have
I'm
for the rest
out."
of my life.
Yeah.
I'm begging you.
Well, I mean, that was what I was
Yeah.
just
Away from here.
saying he
Live
needed
out
to
your
do
life with
anyway.
me.
well, he
so-
doesn't need to do it. Still needs to deal with the problem, but it's a logical or it's a understandable reaction to the situation. It's the
Subaru.
wrong
Yeah.
one, but it's an understandable one.
He's gone past the
sorry,
line
but I
of
can't
balance
run away
to the
with
other
you.
side
We
and
have a
gone
plan.
too
I mean,
far.
we're supposed to sit around and laugh together as we talk about the
He's
future.
pendulum
remember?
swinging from one side,
I
one
remember.
extreme to the other.
And maybe we can't laugh now, but
We would arrive in Kararagi and rent a place to stay. As long as we had a home and some work, we could manage to get by somehow. Fortunately, thanks to the graciousness of Lord Roswell, I've received a formal education, so I think it would be easy for me to find some kind of work, even in Kararagi. You, on the other hand, might have to do manual labor, or maybe just take care of things around whatever work I have, like an assistant or something. Once the two of us had a stable income, we could look for a better place to live. In the meantime, you could study.
She's
for
really
maybe a
thought
year or
about
two,
this.
so that you'd be able to go out and find a decent job. We would go to work, spend our evenings together, and once we had enough money, we could buy a house. Maybe even open up a little shop of our very own. After all, Kararagi is a pretty thriving town, so I'm sure we could earn a living on one of your fanciful ideas. It's embarrassing to say, but we could have a baby. The child would be half demon and half human, so I'm sure it would be feisty. But I know that they would be
Yeah, she
completely
has
adorable.
really
Yeah, she's
thought this
really
through.
thought this
Twins,
out.
even triplets. I'm sure that it wouldn't be all fun and games and good times. And I know not everything would work out exactly the way I
But at least she
imagined it.
seems on board.
In the neighborhood, we'll be known as a couple of old romantic lovebirds. The kind who still laugh and flirt with each other after so many years. Growing old together.
then why don't...
I would feel bad for doing such a thing to you, but I would prefer to die before you if possible. I want to die quietly in the home we'd made together, lying on our bed with your hand in mine, surrounded by our children and their children, and I'd say, I lived such a happy life. Then, with all you there, take my last breath.
If you want it that badly, then why can't...
Because you're not smiling. If you really wanted that future, one with the two of us growing old together, I would die so happy. I would love a future like that with you. And knowing you truly care enough about me
She
to
can
let me
read
be
him
with
too
you
well.
when you run away, leaving everything behind, makes me happy from the bottom
He
of my
knows
heart.
that this is just an excuse. She
But I'm
knows this is
afraid I
just an
can't do it.
excuse to run away.
Because I know that if we ran away together now, the Subaru I'd be leaving behind would be the Subaru that I love most.
Did you just say what I thought you said?
Subaru, you're shaking.
Don't give me that crap! There's nothing easy about giving up! Nothing! You think I'm just doing nothing, thinking about nothing, cutting myself off from everything, throwing my entire life away, leaving every last thing I know and care about behind, and that's all it took for me to call it quits? That's a lie! It was
When
never that
memories
easy
attack.
for me! It was so much easier for me to go on thinking that there was something I could do to make a real difference!
Listen to me. It is easy to give up. But it doesn't suit you at all. I don't know what painful things you've been through, or what you've done that makes you suffer so terribly. And I know it would be wrong of me to say that I understand whatever it is you've been experiencing to make you feel this way. It would. Even so, there's something that I do know about all this. I know for certain that you are someone who cannot give up on something when you're halfway through. You have—
Bullshit! What do you know? What the hell do you actually know about me, huh? Nothing! I'll tell you what kind of man I really am. I have no strength, but I want it all. I have no knowledge, but all I do is dream. There's nothing I can do, but I struggle in vain like an idiot. I hate myself! All I do is talk a big game and make myself sound like a big shot when I can't do anything! I never do anything, yet I complain with the best of them like it's my job or something! Who the hell do I think I am? I'm a fraud! It's amazing that I can live like this and not feel ashamed! You know I'm right! I'm an empty shell.
Like live journal
There's
all
nothing
over my
inside me at all.
TV.
I know there isn't. Before I came to this place, before I got into the situation that led me to all of you, do you
Yeah,
have
that's
any
how
idea what I
bad
did with
this
my life?
is.
I did nothing, that's what.
See,
I've never done a single thing worth mentioning. I had all that time and freedom. but I
apparently, you and I have a
just
very
squandered it
different
away on
reaction
nothing.
to this,
could've
'cause
done
I
anything
am
with my life, but I
engaged as
never
hell,
did a
and this is
damn
some
thing.
of the best
and what
stuff
you're
we've gotten
looking
in
at
the
now
show,
is
in
the
my opinion.
result. This cowardly, weak,
Apparently, we're
worthless
just
crybaby.
completely on opposite ends of this.
We've gone the
All of my
polar
incompetence
opposite here.
It's the product of my rotten and pathetic character. The cost of my lifetime of laziness and all the wasteful habits I forged along the way just ends up killing both you and me.
I mean, this is the most introspective he's been the whole damn show.
Right. I
He's
have no
just
character.
rehashing the
Even when I
shit
thought I could go on
that's
living
been
here
going
and
on
unchanged
the
about
last
who I
10
really am.
episodes.
The
Yeah,
old
but he
man back
needs
at
to
the
do
manor
that. He
saw
needs
part of
to
me perfectly.
actually
Didn't
stop
he?
being in denial. That's been his
I
problem.
wasn't trying to get stronger or trying to make things better. That was a lie. I've known it since the very beginning. Everything that was happening was my fault. I'm the lowest of the low. I absolutely...
I'm sure a lot of this
myself.
animation was done through Korean studios. They're a standard
to me.
these days.
I know that no matter how deeply you've fallen into the pit of darkness, you still have enough courage. to
Subaru
reach
gets a
out your
lot
hand.
of really weird faces because of
I
his
love it when you run your
anguish.
hand along my hair. I love the sound of your voice. Just hearing you say a single word makes my heart flutter and feel
You're
warmer.
shy,
I love how
introverted,
much
and
of
are
you I
latching
see in
on
your
to the
eyes.
first person that's
Normally they
giving
look
you
so stern
positive
and
feedback
serious,
who
but
you're
in
not
those moments
related
when you're being
to.
kind to someone, I really love the
Roswell.
way you soften. I love your fingers too. boy.
Rom has a
So
whole
delicate.
lot better of a
But when they hold
relationship
mine,
with
I know
Roswell
that
than
Yeah,
she
but he
does.
still has a positive relationship with him. Who he is someone not related to her who has given her positive feedback.
Fair.
Whenever
A-
we're out walking
and I'm
together,
sure Amelia
I love
has
the way you
given her
occasionally
positive
turn to make
feedback
sure I'm keeping
before.
up with you. I love the way you look when you
I may
sleep.
have generalized
You
there,
seem
you're
unguarded,
right.
like an infant.
That
But your
said,
eyelashes are so
all
long.
of the signals
When I
are
touch
there.
your cheek, you calm down. And when I playfully touch your lips, you don't even notice. And it makes my heart ache terribly. I love you.
Why would you say that?
When you said that you hate yourself and told me
That
all
said,
the reasons
she's
why
got
you feel that
perfect
way,
reason
it made
for
me want to
coloring her
counter those
opinions
reasons
that way.
And tell you all the absolutely wonderful things I know and love about you.
You're just seeing what you want to see.
Because you're my hero, Subaru. Back in that dark forest, when I didn't even know who I was anymore and couldn't think of anything but violently lashing out, you were the one who saved me.
When you look at what she has experienced, if you cut out all of the loops where he failed and only look at the ones that
He succeeded.
she has experienced up to this point,
Yeah.
it really does sound a rosy story.
Yeah. You know what it makes me think of? It seems that her reaction to him there, it's a lot like how he sees Amelia.
Yeah.
Or he saw Amelia. It's that same sort of...
Oh, I'm sure it's an intentional mirroring.
Yeah. I will say, I knew if anybody was going to get through to him in any sort of way...
Yeah, I'm wondering if
gonna
he's
be
going
her.
to realize that...
Oh,
I've never done anything. I'm empty. No one will even listen to me.
I'm right here. I'm ready to listen to anything you have to say. I want to.
No one expects anything of me.
This took a lot sweeter of a turn than I had been expecting. That's not really changing your goals. That's just roping her into them.
Well, no, the goal was always... His goal was always good. Fixing the problem is necessary. It's a matter of how he goes about it.
He seems to be a little more mentally stable now. I will give him that.
The goal was never for him to just say, I shouldn't do anything.
Oh, Subaru.
Yeah, no, you and I are going to, like, completely different directions on
I'll
this.
be there to help
Every time you
whenever
groan,
I can
I'm
tell.
like,
I'll do
yes.
everything I can for you. If it helps my hero, if you greet the future with a smile, then it's worth it.
Thanks, Rem. And now watch me. You get a front row seat. You'll see the man you fell in love with become the most awesome hero you and the rest of this world have ever known.
Watching you.
At least he seems to have his fire
You're
back.
watching me. So I won't look downward.
He's a little more
Not
stable.
anymore.
He ain't
Subaru Natsuki's
completely
story will
where he
begin
needs
right
to be, but
here,
he's
at this moment.
He's come backed off from the ledge.
Yes, you heard me
Ah,
correctly.
going back and trying
Proposing
again.
an alliance between the Amelia and Cruce camps on equal terms. And the information I'll offer for that purpose is this. The next time and place you'll find the White Whale. That's the one card I can play here.
The White Whale?
Okay, Ahab.
Little bit.
Please forgive my indiscretion.
Also, I heard in the capital that you've been buying up a lot of weapons and armor lately.
That's right. Use your
Plus,
knowledge
If
from the
Miss
past
Cruché's
lives.
goal were to be attained, then Mr. Wilhelm, I'm confident such an outcome would suit your desires.
That device is what you'd call a meteor. It tells me exactly when and where that monster will appear.
Okay.
I find all this a bit hard to believe.
But are you
But
curious
I see that
enough?
you aren't lying.
I appreciate you believing me, but I'm surprised you did so easily.
Telling lies will get you nowhere with Miss Cruchet.
With
She
you
has the
nowhere?
device to
Yes,
take away
yes,
from you.
she
say
totally did.
Whenever anyone attempts to tell a lie, there's a telling wind that blows around them. I'm able to see that wind. There's no evidence of it now.
Hey, would you mind if I listen in on this little chat?
Ah, here she comes.
Pardon us.
Anastasia Hoshin and Russell Fellow?
Well, to be exact, it was this blue-haired girl he keeps with him. I only heard the gist of what you were talking about, but if you're really planning on putting down the White Whale, I'm
Subaru's
all
starting
about
to
it.
plot.
For us
Good
business folk,
Subaru.
whether that thing is around or
Like I
not
said,
is pretty much
he's
a life or
calm
death
enough,
matter.
calmed
So
down
our
enough
mercenary
to be able
team
to
will help
actually
with whatever
think
you need.
and use
In
what
I
he's
think he's
got.
finally
Matters that are
getting his
concerning
shit
the White
together.
Whale.
Yeah.
I'm interested
Yeah.
in
Like I
the
said.
I
concession
think he's
proposed by
finally
Mr.
getting his
Nazi
shit
regarding
together.
the possibility of mining rights to the magic
Ren
stones.
finally got
If
to
the
him.
aforementioned
I'm
alliance
not
is formed,
entirely
magic stones
comfortable
mined from
with
veins
the
previously
way he's
untouched will be
treating her,
distributed to the
but-
capital through Miss Cruchet.
Think they do? Then let's defeat the White Whale. Let's go on a hunt together.
Round the Antares maelstrom and through perdition's flames.
I still have several questions concerning this arrangement, but it was brilliant of you to uncover my plans. You paved the way for everything before negotiations began, huh? You're surprisingly shrewd in your tactics. I commend you.
It only
My
took
review
him,
and
what,
preparation
4
paid off, that's
tries?
all.
Something like that.
To be honest, I
5?
couldn't be more relieved.
You can say that again. You look completely worn out.
Thank you for so very kindly granting this old man the opportunity to slay the loathsome mobbies that took my wife.
Funny that you remember
Sure,
her.
of course. I knew that. No big deal. I figured Miss Cruchet would weigh that
What
into
do you mean?
account and accept my offer with that in mind.
Well, the last time around, everything
wind of
the
untruth
beast
is
ate
blowing from you.
was erased
Oh,
from
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah,
memory,
yeah.
from existence.
True.
It's funny that he remembers her. If it was truly the beast that killed her, or that took her.
I get it now. You bought all the dragon.
Or else that was
carriages for
something
this.
completely
That's why I
separate
had
from the
trouble
white
getting a
whale
ride back to the
itself and
mansion.
just happened to be
You're still awake, huh?
coinciding.
No way I could sleep through all this.
Well, now you know the story. You should stop worrying about things and try to get some sleep. Besides, there's nothing you can do to help with supply distribution or organization of this mission anyway.
That may be true, but you didn't have to say it and rub it in my face.
At first it was kitschy, then it was annoying, and now I absolutely can't stop loving it.
Well, it looks like this is the one for me.
Wow, I'm surprised. This type of ground dragon is known for being really proud and difficult, yet it took to him right away.
Felix, I'll take this one. It's love at first sight.
That's fine by me. But don't say love at first sight. You're making little Ren pouty wowie.
Don't pouty whatever you said. I'll be nice to it, I promise. I can do it.
I really hope he survives this now just so that he can have a ground dragon friend.
I believe you're
We've
the
gone through
star of
enough
this little
loops now.
show,
It's
aren't
possible this might
Yeah,
actually be the
we've
last
been through a
one.
lot of
Didn't we
loops.
from
This
Karagi?
might be the time
So
he
I take it you're with
succeeds.
Anastasia?
I mean, he's
Sure
playing the
am, but
right
gave it
hand thus
away.
far.
I'm Ricardo, head of her mercenary team. It is nice to meet you too, little lady.
Keep it down.
Okay.
Be careful. You're huge.
I
You're
love
stepping
the
next.
goddamn
Hey,
werewolf
my
with the
lady.
pompadour.
Easy.
That is awesome.
Holy crap.
That is a
Must be
great
the pride
character
of Anastasia
design.
and the Hoshis, the Iron Fang. Impressive. They all do look rather formidable. So did...
Judging by your outfit, I
Nice
guess you're
armor.
fighting too then?
Well, of course I am. Do you really think I'm capable of just sitting in a chair and waiting for
It is
good
actually a
news?
really
To
nice
be
cut of
honest, I'm
armor
more
for an
surprised that you're
anime.
participating. Are you skilled in the
Like,
art of combat?
that's not
That would
Berserk.
be a no.
Because
But
Berserk
even if I can't
does
fight, let me tell ya.
ridiculously
Someone here's
over-armored,
gonna come in
but
pretty handy in this battle against the white whale.
my
Recommend
point
anyway.
is I like
So
the
you'd
armor
risk
I'm
your
seeing
life
in the
to be the
backgrounds and
bait?
what I'm seeing on people here. It's nice
Shockingly, I
design.
don't
It's
sense
not
any
too
lies in that idiotic
fanciful,
statement. Never
and
thought I'd doubt my
it's
divine protection as
reductionist
often as I
enough
have in the past
to
half day,
that
but
I
this
can
is a
believe
unique
people
set of
fight in it.
circumstances. Their experience is comparable to those of the capital's active knights.
The time has
They're
come, Miss
geezers,
Cruchet.
but they managed to live through it, so they're pretty damn good.
400 years.
That's a
Since the
decent
white
fucking
whale
army.
created by the jealous witch made the world its hunting ground.
I
400
love
years
the
have
werewolf
passed.
with the pompadour.
See,
I
didn't-
can't
Lives
not
been lost
see
to
the
peace during that
pompadour
time.
now. I didn't see it
Given the
originally
unscrupulous
until you
nature of
said
its
it.
bog,
Exactly.
The number
I
of
was
graves
just gonna say
not
that.
even inscribed with names will
Wow.
only rise.
I didn't notice.
But the days of
Something felt
helplessness and
odd
sitting
about
idle
him,
end today.
and then you said that. I'm
Those
like,
of us
that's
gathered
it.
Here will end
The
it.
fucking
We will
pompadour.
strike down the white whale and stop any further tragedy.
Hey there, I'm Mimi. Glad to know ya. I'm Heitaro. It's nice to make your acquaintance.
Yeah.
All right,
nice to
everyone,
meet you.
set up your
Anyway, not
DPS.
that I
I
had any
need
reason to
casters
doubt
to
it,
the
but,
left, charges to the
really
right.
are the second
We're
in
gonna
command,
pull a
aren't you?
pincer maneuver here.
Wait a second. Have we met someone
Everybody
before?
activate your
I'm thinking
F3s.
about it, but I totally don't remember.
I know nothing about MMOs if you haven't figured it out yet.
Properly. I totally don't remember.
Don't worry about it. Just talking to myself.
You mean a flail?
I'm Subaru Natsuki.
My big sister and I will do our best. Me and Heitaro are the strongest. The
Of
captain's
course
here,
you
too, so we're the
are.
super strongest. Honestly, my sister and the captain tend to be hasty with decisions. So I'm the one who usually gives the orders.
I see.
We're an army
I don't
with
envy
children
that at
in
all.
charge.
The captain shouldn't go around making trouble for his men.
Hey, that's a nice ground dragon you got there.
God damn it, Nick.
The goddamn
Thanks for saying so.
pompadour.
But honestly, I only borrowed this one because it kind of seemed to like me.
Oh,
Come to think of it, the
Yeah.
ones you guys are riding look pretty different.
you've gotten the
Called
mind
Riders.
worm in.
I guess you don't see them too often around here, though.
He tried with
They
a
aren't
god
as
one,
strong
it
as
didn't
those
stick.
ground dragons, but they're
Then,
much
then he
more
broke out
lively.
the pompadour as
When
he
it
ate
comes
in
to
the
a brawl
hole.
against the whale, that's where they really shine, so watch closely.
Well, of course not. That's why it's wrapped around the base so that you can
impressive, isn't it?
Not a hard decision, Nate. Either pick up the mic or don't.
Oh man, check this out. Looks like people have carved their names into the trunk. We're not on some field trip. That's just bad manners.
It's all right, Subaru. I can always tell when you're lying, with or without the power to see the telltale wind. I also know every time that you can't tell me why you're lying. So there's no need for you to try to convince me to believe whatever excuse you're coming up with, or wrap everything you're saying in lies, or try to take the blame upon yourself like that.
Should say thanks instead of I'm sorry in these situations.
Well, in that case, you're welcome. Besides, if I look back on all that's
Just
happened
thank her
between
for
us, I'm
supporting
far
you,
more
dude.
grateful to you, Subaru. So we're even.
Only a short time remains before us.
Now, watch it not show up.
That is a
I
possibility.
mean, maybe it only showed
Pull
up
the-
because the merchant train let it through there.
Well, because Subaru
He-
thought it
he's
was,
taken a completely different path this time around.
but Subaru last time around, Subaru thought it was drawn to him. So he's in the same place at the same time. So
Theoretically, it
Yeah.
should still work, which is
Yeah.
what he's gambling on. You know, maybe turn the alarm off. We don't need to hear your damn alarm,
did you think that
Subaru.
was your phone, Nick? Okay.
No, that's Subaru's
not
alarm.
coming.
I got a Snapchat.
Okay, no. He pulled his phone out at the same time the thing went off.
Oh,
So I'm like, what?
no, I was bitching at Subaru.
Alan, it was diegetic sound.
It's a space whale!
It's not in space. How could it be a space?
Okay, it's a flying whale.
Yeah, flying whale.
It's a sky whale! It's a
Sky
sky whale. There we go.
It's the windfish.
The whales are coming, I promise. Plus, the windfish was in an egg. It came from an egg.
No, nothing. The windfish's egg was in a construct inside of its dream.
And really, with the title, I thought we'd see more of it, but I guess we got another setup to another fight.
No, this is an anime. The title is a crotch punch teaser. Just like
Of
how if you watch
course.
the next time on, you've ruined half the episode.
Oh. Well, we started out with the fight with Puck, which was exceedingly one-sided, and he went on to murder everyone, and said that now that Amelia was dead, he had to fulfill the
His
contract and destroy the world.
Yeah.
Which really is not looking very good for Subaru or the world right now.
Yeah, so the stakes of this thing have just skyrocketed to globally apocalyptic, apparently.
Like, instead of, oops, she's dead, well, we have 4 other heirs that can fight over it, we now have, oops, she's dead and the world's gonna end. Which the other 4, I mean, at least 3 out of the 4 are actively competing against her and won't shed a tear if she actively dies, unless they know that the world will end if she dies. Oh, either way, that added, a whole new complication to it.
Like, we got that. Then we got the whole thing with Rem and Subaru on the roof, which apparently we have very different feelings about. I thought that was a very moving, thought-provoking moment, like, or at least a very moving bit of character development growth for both of them, especially for him, because she finally got through him.
It was very tropey, but it fit within the mentality that we have already seen displayed in this show for certain roles and expectations within relationships.
No, I mean, I legitimately thought it was moving. I was emotionally moved by the feelings expressed by both the characters. He made valid points. He was introspective. He finally just broke down and acknowledged all the bullshit he's been pulling for how many episodes.
Yeah, it as I said
Which he
while it was
needed.
going
He
on,
needed
it
to
felt a
release all
lot
that.
like a robotic recap to me of
Well, yeah.
we need an excuse to spill out all the shit that's been going on, just in case you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, that wasn't a recap episode. That was simply a flashback
It was
scene.
just a recap of what had
It was
been
him
going on.
remembering things as he was going on, and because the dialogue it wasn't him just listing off all of the things that happened. It was him actually working through the emotions and the thoughts of it.
Yeah.
So it was actual progress. And like I said, I didn't even think about it being like a recap until you mentioned it. Up until that point, I was just engaged in what he was saying and how the two of them were interacting.
Which realistically means that the writers did a good job in presenting it. I will fully admit, due to some stuff that I've been doing for other projects, my view is a little bit tainted at the moment based on some psychological reviews and stuff that I've been reading lately that have been dealing with other issues.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
that said, initially we had Subaru doing his recap, pouring out his heart, realizing that, oh shit, maybe I did fuck up. But that wasn't the cringy part. I mean, yes, that was cringy, but that was cringy in okay, this was overly stated. He was stating things that Rem realistically already knew.
Well, that wasn't the point, though.
The point was to be dramatic in a show-like fashion, which means recap time.
Well, no, the point was that was him venting. It's not a matter of, I'm telling you all this because you don't know it. It's a matter of, I need to get this all off my chest.
Yeah.
And venting to somebody is the act, is that way of doing it. It's a way of getting things off your chest.
It was a way for the writers to get it all in. It was a way to enact the emotional response that you felt in the venting. I don't actually have a problem with that. I mean, more than my issue with Subaru just being a bonehead. My problem comes more in what ended up following, where, okay, he's vented all of this. He's at a point where he's finally starting to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Rem goes, all right, great. Now's my chance. I need to talk to him. I need to get my point through to him. That part, I actually really liked her vision of their future together and everything like that. And then he very bluntly, very upfront, very much honestly said that they came to the decision together that can't happen because he's very much hooked on her.
On Amelia, yeah.
On Amelia. But he is more than willing to take advantage of the emotional connection that she is still clinging to.
See, I don't think he's not taking advantage though, for the very reason you just said. If he started stringing her along, then he'd be taking advantage.
Agreed.
But he made it abundantly clear.
It's not as bad as it could be. It is, as far as things go, very benign.
Like, it's not taking advantage simply to let her choose to help him because she cares about him. As long as she's upfront about and on the level, which he is.
It's not him I'm having the problem with. It's the cringiness of her choosing to, after he has very clearly stated that there is no emotional attachment you and I can build a relationship from.
I wouldn't phrase it that way.
Okay, that bad phrasing.
That he's not in love with her. There is an emotional attachment. He cares about her. He has made it clear
that he is in love with Amelia, and that this would be a platonic sort of
relationship.
We both have things we can help each other out. You have resources that I need in order to get this done.
See, you're putting way too much callousness into this, I think. They are friends. She said she had expressed that she has feelings beyond that to him. He says he doesn't feel that way about her, but they still are friends. They still care about each other. They still have a mutual goal, and they're supportive.
Friends can't occasionally take advantage of the skills of their friends? I mean, that's essentially why we're sitting in front of the camera today.
Well, no,
because one of us took advantage of the other two of us
he is not,
to get us stuck in front of the camera.
He is not.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Exactly. It's not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm just acknowledging that this is a thing that is happening.
No, well,
I am
in point of
trying
fact,
to separate it from the emotional attachment.
In point of fact, you did in fact say it was negative. You began this by saying this is what you have a problem with. So, but my point is, he's not, like, the fact that she wants to help him because she cares for him, even though she knows he won't reciprocate because she cares for him, wants to do what's best for him. That is a healthy thing. That is not, I mean, you can argue whether or not how she got to the point where she has feelings for him is a little clingy or whatever, but although I don't think it necessarily is, especially from her, like you said, from her perspective, not seeing all of the loops. But I think it's a perfectly healthy thing that they went through.
And that's the other thing that's a little bit cringy here is we have the advantage of seeing the entirety of what Subaru has gone through. But realistically, when you chop all of the failed timelines out of that and only string together the ones where he won and progressed the story, it's given her a false image and a false narrative of who he is based purely on the fact that all of his failures get wiped from existence. So she's almost put him up on a pedestal that he doesn't belong on because it's not his brilliant mind. It's not his amazing bravery. It's because he's done this 5 times already and he's finally figured out a way through.
To a certain extent, but I mean, at the same time, every time he did all those things where he succeeded, he still did them. He still risked his life. He still came up with some of those ideas. Even if he had a few extra tries at it, he still did those things. Like, she's
Take
not aware
all of your tests from your senior year, pull out only the A+. How does that reflect on you as a student? If you only take those A+, you look like a great student. But it's ignoring everything else you did. It's given you a false image of the person in question. That's all I'm saying is she's built her love and affection
she doesn't have the complete
around
picture.
an incomplete picture.
Tell me a person in this world who knows who gets into a relationship with someone they know everything about.
Oh, I can't. That's why I don't do relationships.
Nobody does. Nobody goes into a relationship.
Because we're humans, we're flawed, and we are all horrible people who lie, cheat, steal, and
Cut to the Key and Peele bit about being married to Neil deGrasse Tyson and trying to win an argument with an astrophysicist.
Yeah. No, again, I'm commenting on the nature of humanity and people and what is specifically happening in this situation. I'm not sure how I feel about it because I do really like Rem's emotional connection here. I like what she's doing. I just feel weird about it because it's built on a lie.
Well, I don't think it's not necessarily a lie. It's just, like I said, it's incomplete information. And at the end of the day, it's not like, again, he's telling her that he's failed and made all these mistakes and all that stuff, and she's basically saying, well, I don't know about any of that. I believe you. I don't know any of that, but I based off of solely what I've seen, that's enough for me to draw a conclusion. So,
yeah. I've also been on both sides of that relationship, and they're both self-destructive.
And I will admit, I'm coming at this as someone who has never had a relationship before. So that it's an outside perspective. You have had several relationships. So different, like you said, different perspective on this.
This is entirely a perspectives issue, and I realize what it is, which is why I'm trying to remove myself from what is very tropically high school emotions and hormones gone wild, written into a dramatization in a fantasy world. It's meant to be
anime?
that way.
Yeah.
It's meant to be that way. It's anime. Like, I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. I recognize it when it happens, and it's like Nick watching any movie at all and him recognizing an actor or a voice actor or something. It breaks everything for him, and he has to talk about it for 20 minutes. This is just
5 at max.
I notice it when it happens.
Well,
and I'm hyper aware at the moment because of another project I'm doing.
Just because something is a trope does not automatically make it bad.
No.
A trope done well in the proper service of a plot and a story is just as valid as something that is completely unique and original.
And my attitude did change throughout that sequence, from absolutely despising to actually enjoying parts of it. I'm still uneasy how I feel. I'm not quite sure how to take certain parts of it. I do think it was an overall positive.
Yeah, no, like I at one point
they seem to have come out of it better than they went into it.
I'll admit, at one point in that, I was starting to get a little choked up. I was legitimately moved by what was going on between the two of them. Like, you know me, I am not a huge ship person. I'm not a shippy guy. Like, that's not something I watch ship for. But like, after that, it's like, okay, I get where people are like, fuck Amelia. He should end up with Rem. Like,
I totally understand why the fan base is on that level.
Like, all right,
I see a couple of stereotypes in there that twinge a couple of my buttons, but that is very minor as far as things go. It's just things that make me go, ooh, that could have been done better. That said, I think they came out of that conversation with an overall positive.
Yes. Just the way the rest of the episode played out is
clearly positive.
Night and day. It is night and day from what we've been getting.
He is so much more level. He is so much more level than he has been.
And I think it's well timed because right at the beginning of this episode, you and I were like, we're getting to that point where it's starting to become, and immediately
this pulled us right back in.
Yep. And right when we got to that point, they deflated it.
Yeah.
So that to me, that works.
Well done, ReZero. Well done.
Yeah, they built that up to right to the limit of where it was like tolerable.
Right to the point where it was intolerable, and then they brought us right back in.
And then we let some steam off. He's kind of thinking clearly again a little bit. He's still not perfect. He's still got the hero complex to a degree.
Again, they're human. They are naturally have faults, but
But he's much more measured. He's thinking clearly a little more. He's realizing he can't just angst his way through this.
Yeah.
He has to actually
thank God.
Things. Yeah.
I am so through with Subaru angst.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll be back. Don't get me
will
wrong.
Be. It's not gone.
Yeah, I don't think.
But he managed to put together a coalition of the
coalition
other
of the willing.
Yeah, to go whaling. A whaling we will go.
Oh, God.
We're whalers on the moon. We carry a harpoon. Something. So we sing our whaling tune.
And that's practically an advertisement for my webcomic.
No, but then they had that conversation, which we have spent an inordinately large amount of time talking about.
Okay, that said, that conversation took an inordinately long amount of time to get through.
But then he goes and he recruits help from, and I still can't remember names.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name too.
Her last name's Van Estrella, right? The military
Estrella is one of them. I know the old man is an Estrella. I think one of the girls is an Estrella.
Yeah, because unless I was mistaken, they were indicating that he is her father.
I thought it was uncle, but
no, because he was married to the last.
He was married to the sword mistress, who was an Estrella. I don't
Maybe
believe
I'm
they ever
misunderstanding
actually
the
say she's the
relationships.
last Estrella, but either way,
Yeah.
they go to her. They've already got some stuff in the background lined up.
Winter Girl, whose name we cannot remember for the life of us. We gotta
One
worry
of
on
these
that.
days, we're gonna go back, rewatch it, and actually take some notes like we do in our other.
I started out taking notes for all of our shows, and I just kind of stopped.
And then you stopped.
Yeah, well, because half the time I just get so
the joys of mediocrity.
Either way,
yeah. So they got a plan,
which seems to have mostly been based off of, again, things he learned from his failed timelines.
but finally he's actually using the knowledge he's gotten.
He sat there, thought about it, and made use of what he had learned, and made some deals.
Well, because before he was basically just like being really reactive to it. Of, well, this didn't work. I'm going in this direction. This didn't work. I'm going in that direction.
That's actually a really good way to put it. He was reactive. Now he's proactive.
Yes, he stopped. He's looked at everything that's happened, and rather than just knee-jerk reacting to it, he's thinking it through. He's taking the elements, putting them together, and using them. And he's also doing a thing where it's like he's got reasons why he's giving people reasons why he knows things. He's able to do stuff now instead of just, well, I do know, and you should be listening to me because angst.
Yeah,
he's actually thinking things through.
For a while there, he was kind of doing the seer thing of, don't question how I know, I just know, just do what I say or God will hate you. Like, I mean, not God or anything, but like, do what I say or horrible things will happen because I'm prophesizing horrible things are going to happen. He was
do
loopy.
The things I want you to do because I feel like I emotionally feel you need to do it.
Yeah, he
That's
was
basically
goddamn
what
loopy.
it was. Yeah, but and then so we set up
he
the
was
battle.
acting much more logical this time around. He looked at the information he had, he put it all together, figured out how to use it to his advantage, and he did.
Yeah, he promised
put himself together a goddamn army.
He gave him the information on the white whale. He promised him some mining rights apparently, and he promised to give the one merchant dude the
magic stone is, I believe, what they called it. Yeah, the mining for magic stone, and promised to give his media, his cell phone,
to the merchant guy.
Dude with the beard.
Yeah, the merchant guy.
I don't remember his name, but he's dude with the beard.
Merchant guy.
Yeah.
But a number of them have beards, so merchant guy.
He has the W. He's got the W beard.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah.
So they set all that up, and they go out. They form the army. He gets his ground dragon.
Yep, which, since they actually paid enough attention to it, I am really hoping he manages to keep his ground dragon friend if he succeeds and survives this loop.
That'd be nice.
I think that's going to... They paid enough attention. This is like the family dog. Next thing we know, he's going to name it, and then you just can't kill it. It'll outlive the humans at that rate, even if it's not supposed to.
But,
like a cat in a webcomic.
So they set up for the fight. We meet the werewolf with the pompadour, as Nick so graciously pointed out.
I love the goddamn werewolf to begin with, but as soon as he pointed out that there was a pompadour, it just automatically drew my eye every single scene.
At this point,
I love it. I can't not see it.
At this point, it's more or less just a pompadour with a werewolf attached.
It was the were pompadour.
One day, a normal wolf was out killing deer in the woods to feed its family. That's when the were pompadour attacked.
Right?
The were pompadour.
I mean, the were in like werewolf is, humans. Like were is derivative of a word for man. So the man pompadour?
Where means to change.
It is. I assure you, it's not. I've watched full things about.
Anyways,
but
we got to see him as part of the Gathering army. I think I said all I wanted to say about the awesome armor and everything they've been showing.
Yeah, you guys nerded out about the armor
during that bit because there wasn't much talking. And then it was setting up for the white whale, which turned out to be a sky whale.
Well, he's been flying around before.
I thought before he was like swimming through the dirt in the ground with the giant sandstorm around him.
He was doing both.
I don't remember. I remember him jumping a couple of times, but I don't remember him flying last episode.
He was in the air enough. It seemed like no, he's not. Like he's floating.
I guess I assumed last episode that he was just jumping out of the air and doing the.
I will make the
jump
argument
thing.
that flight is nothing more than an overly sophisticated jump.
Technically, according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, flight is merely jumping and failing to land.
That makes perfect sense.
It's falling and missing the ground.
I mean,
it's like those times you fall out of a boat and don't hit the water.
Yeah,
like shit happens.
Yeah,
it's falling slowly.
With style.
I wasn't gonna go for the obvious.
I was going for the Tim Allen line.
Oh, I know. That's why I wasn't gonna go for the obvious reference, but.
Oh, I think we've been there, done that.
Anyways, but we did have that one little moment at the end where Subaru gets all teared up when Rem says more nice things to him and he thanks her.
Yeah.
Or kind of halfway thanks her instead of just saying I'm sorry, which is
she is going to be good for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he is going to be good for her.
That is an understandable thing is whether or not he's gonna.
From everything I've read, from the way this is building and the psychological profiles that are fitting and linking up inside my mind, she may be good for him. He will not be good for her.
This is going to happen. I mean, there's a number of different ways this can all play out. You're talking about tropes.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I'm also applying real life psychological profiles rather than anime. Everything
I'm not
turns
applying.
out sparkly
I'm not
with
saying.
awesomeness.
I'm not talking about psychological profiles. I'm talking about tropes of, either like he can end up with neither one of them because they both die. He can end up with one because the other one is dead, and that's the one he's left with. He can realize that he
what
can realize
a kick
that,
in the unmentionables that is. Oh, I'm sorry, my prime choice died, so I'm with you instead.
shit happens.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things in anime in general that
I would say
are a little cringy to.
Well, less that my prime choice died and you're the backup, and more a matter of I realize I have feelings for both of you, and before I could sort them out, the universe solved the problem for me. That is the thing that happens.
The problem with TV shows, movies, things like that is you only get a very narrow slice of the person's life, and you're left to guess about everything outside of. It allows people to come to conclusions that may not be entirely correct, accurate, or even fair. And I am talking about my own conclusions in this case as well, because we see so little of the entirety of their lives because of the way this is written and filmed.
Well, because it's a TV show, you can't see. You don't see their lives 24/7.
There's no possible way to get enough information
that is the
to
case
make
with
an
every piece
actual.
That's the case with every single piece of media ever
that's what
produced
I'm
in all
stating.
of human history.
Point out that documentary where they checked in with a group of kids once every 10 years for 50 years.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Well,
point
even
I'm
then,
making.
you don't see all 50
our
years.
entire attempt
You see a lot of it.
define them, to trope them, to profile them, is all flawed in the fact that we're only dealing with a very small slice. Realistically, I just need to enjoy the show. It's anime. It's pretty colors. It's flashing lights. Hopefully, I'll see a giant robot. Maybe a girl in a mini skirt
I don't
with
think
a scythe.
I don't think you're going to see a giant robot.
And the
who the hell
mini
knows,
skirted
but-
girl and the scythe is our other show.
Yeah,
but
All they have to do is say they summoned it from another dimension, and fucking Big O can come through a portal.
Yeah.
I
am completely acknowledging, at least this week, I have been over-examining things.
It would seem so, because like, you're making technically valid points, but they're valid points about all of human existence. So it's like,
they are, and that's
why are we
kind of
targeting it against this show?
Because
Or poetry shit, like magnetic poetry shit.
Because it's giving me an excuse to point out things about human existence, which apparently has been a thing I've been on this week.
Yeah.
Either way.
Life sucks, then you don't die, and occasionally your friends strong-arm you into producing internet content. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's very much a matter of Bill has clearly been dealing with some things lately.
That said, do you have anything else to say about the episode? Because I don't think I got anything else. I'm excited for the next episode again. I'm not regretting my choices the way I was after the last episode.
I think we're good. I could talk more, but I'm afraid to.
That's probably a healthy inclination in this group of people.
Yeah.
Then at this point, I think it's time we say goodnight to ourselves and to y'all. We've been Informed and Confused. I'm Will.
You threw me for a loop with that one.
I mean, you just called me Bill, so.
No, I thought you said Will.
Oh, I heard Will too.
Yeah, I heard Will.
It may have slipped out.
I mean, I've been around you for a decade and a half at this point, so I'm used to all the name games, but good dear God.
And that is currently what I'm using at work because there's 4 other Bills on my shift.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No, but...
He's Alan, and we're done with this shit.